So today we're going to be taking a look at an upcoming release from a brand I think deserves way more attention. Vesuviate Watches have been around a few years now, and they've come out with some really good value watch releases in the past. And same goes for their upcoming release, the Attivo-Chrono. It's a really good automatic chronograph. Now, full disclosure, this watch was given to the channel for free by Vesuviate Watches and does not have to be returned. But like always, the company has no say when it comes to the content of today's video. So let's get to it and check out the watch. Now, these are coming out by way of a Kickstarter campaign, and I know not everybody is a fan of those, but Vesuviate is doing it a little differently this time. They plan to run a short couple of week campaign and have the watches ready to ship right away when the campaign ends, and afterwards, the watches will be available directly through the Vesuviate site. I'll give you more details on that here soon, but there's a few color options available, including a fully lumed dial version, but I have in the pale yellow, which, depending on the lighting, I find almost has a pistachio tone to it. I got to pick which color for the video and went for something a little different than I'd usually go for, and I'm really liking it. Both the case and the bracelet are made using 316L stainless steel, but Vesuviate uses a hardening treatment that brings the hardness up to 1100 Vickers, so it's very scratch resistant. The bracelet has polished inner links and brushed outer. They're fairly narrow links, so they're very fluid. It's comfortable on wrist, although there's no taper at all, which would have made it even more comfortable. One negative for me is the deployant clasp. I'd almost always prefer a regular clasp with some micro adjusts. Thankfully, the links are narrow like they are, so I was able to get a good fit. It is a well-made clasp, and we even have some perlage work there too. The dial looks good, and it's always fun wearing something a bit different when it comes to color on wrist. One of my favorite parts of the watch's design is the subdials, particularly their shape. They just work really well having the same shape as the square-shaped dial. Up top, we have the Vesuviate logo, then Vesuviate printed below that. Down at the 6 is Attivo printed in red, which matches the color of the second hand, then automatic, and the water resistance, which is 100 meters. As far as getting the time in low light, the lume is rock solid on this watch. I'm not sure what lume formula they're using, but it is really good, long lasting, and very bright. So let's fire up the chronograph here, and I just want to take a look at the subdials. Both subdials have a sunray finish and are recessed into the dial and framed in black, giving them some separation from the rest of the dial. On the left at the 9 o'clock is the running seconds, and on the right at the 3 is the minute counter, counting up to 30 minutes for the chronograph function. I haven't even mentioned the movement yet, but the watch is running the Seagull ST-1940 automatic chronograph movement, which was once known as the Venus 175, which is a whole other story I'm sure most of you or a lot of you are aware of, but it's a beautiful 33 joule movement beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour with a power reserve of approximately 40 hours. I love that they used a hollowed out rotor to keep more of that movement visible. So let's stop and we'll reset the chronograph here, and the pushers have a nice, crisp, snappy action to them. The case is almost completely polished, but at least we have that hardening treatment to fend off those pesky scratches. The crown is a signed screw-down crown. It's fairly large, so no problems unscrewing. Setting the time. And winding the watch. Winding action feels good in hand, and the crown threads back in smoothly. The case comes in at a width of 38.9 millimeters. The lug-to-lug is 46.1 millimeters, although the male end links extend that out to about 51.9 millimeters. Lug opening is 16 millimeters, so you're going to probably keep this on the bracelet. Thickness on the watch is 14.5 millimeters. The crystals, both front and back, are sapphire with an anti-reflective treatment on the underside, and the AR is top notch. So no issues with legibility even in direct sunlight. And here it is on my 7.25-inch wrist. And I'm not usually crazy about shiny watches like this with almost no brushwork, but it suits the look of the watch. And overall, I'm really happy with it. Really cool watch. Now, these are coming out by way of that short couple of week Kickstarter campaign. The first 80 watches will be going for $395 USD. Then there will be an additional 100 pieces available for $425. Once the campaign is over, you can get them on the Vesuviate site for $475. And if you're seeing this late and missed the campaign pricing, Vesuviate has given me a discount code, Vesuviate offer, all one word, for 7% off your order if you're ordering from the site. So that is it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.